viewers, you are welcome to Yinky Couture channel. This is where I share lots of sewing tutorials, and if you are new here, I welcome you. Feel free to subscribe, like and share my videos. Today I will be showing you how to make a panel skirt. So this type of panel skirt is like 8 pieces skirt. So it's a panel skirt, or better still, a 8 pieces mermaid skirt. So the back will have a tail. So the tail depends on how surplus your fabric is. So I'm going to be cutting 4 pieces for the front and 4 pieces for the back. So the measurements needed for this tutorial are the waist measurement, the hip circumference, the hip length, the skirt half length, the knee length, and the full length of the skirt. So these are the measurements that I needed for this tutorial, and from there I'm going to refer you back to the dartless skirt that I made in my previous tutorial. So the dartless skirt pattern will be used to cut this 8 pieces skirt. So as you can see, this is the front pattern of the dartless skirt. So if you haven't watched this video, I'm going to put it in my description box so that you can go to it and watch it and refer back to this video to understand better. So this 8 pieces skirt can be cut by using the waist measurement. The waist measurement will be divided by the number of panels that you want to make. So since I'm making 8 pieces, I will divide the waist measurement by 8 and it will give me 3.5. That means each panel on the waist will be 3.5. So if you are making 6 pieces, you divide your waist by 6. If you are making 12, you divide it by 12. So as for me, since I'm making 8, I'm dividing my waist, only the waist measurement, by 8. So I will mark the point at which I have 3.5 on the front and the back panel, like so. So after marking it like so, I will go back, because I'm going to use a straight ruler to connect that point straight down to the hemline. As you can see, I will use a straight ruler to connect it. But before I do that, I will reshape the side of the skirt to the half length, because I only need from the waist to the half length on this pattern. That's what I need for the panel skirt. So I'm going to go outward immediately I get to the skirt half length, like that. So since I don't need the rest from the half length, I don't really need that. So I'm going to reshape to give it a better fitting, to make the skirt to be fitted. So that's why I'm to shape the skirt. That's what I'm doing here. So from that skirt half length, I'll come out like that to create my funnel shape. So I'll cut the rest off from the skirt half length. So since I've cut that off, I'll bring a straight ruler to connect the 3.5 to the skirt half length straight down like that. Then I'll cut. So right now I have my pattern cut into pieces right now. So I have the front pattern cut into 4 pieces, while the back pattern also cut into 4 pieces, but I have only 2 pieces here because I'll be cutting the back pattern on fold. So I can now go on and label my front pattern as 1, 2, 3 and 4. So all this pattern will now be used to cut my panel skirt. All this pattern will be used to cut my panel skirt. So I'll go right away and bring out the picture of what I want to do. This is the hemline. The hemline, the total hemline measurement is 144 inches. That is what I need. You can decide to add more to your own measurement depending on what you need to make your hemline full. So I want 144 inches. Since I want 144 inches, I will now know I want to calculate what will be the measurement of each panel. So for the front, I will divide that 144 by 2. Then I'll have 72 inches for the front alone. So if I want to know what each panel will be, I'll divide that 72 inches again by 4. So I will have 18 inches for each panel. That means each panel hemline will be 18 inches. So this will be the measurement that I'm going to fold on my fabric. So if I want to fold on my fabric now, I will fold into 18 inches. So I'm folding 4 panels right now. I want to fold the side panels. So I have 4 of the side panels, as you can see, and they are the same thing. That's why I want to cut it together. So the front and the back for the side panels are the same. So I will go ahead and cut 4 pieces of the side panels. 4 pieces of the side panels. So that means on this picture I'm cutting 1, 4, 5, 8. Right now, this is the cloth, the fabric I want to use. So I folded 4 into 4. I folded this cloth into 4 like so. Then I'll measure what is there. I have 18 inches. That is the 18 inches that serves as my hemline fullness. So I folded into 4. The folding, you are going to measure what is there. I have 18 inches. Then I will divide that 18 inches by 2. I have 9 inches. So I will take the side panel for the back skirt, take one out of them, fold it into 2, just for accuracy. I can't just place it anywhere on the skirt. I will fold it into 2 and place it on the half, on the 9 inches that I've measured. So after folding it into 2, initially I have sewing allowance of ½ inch on the side panel before on the pattern. So I'm going to add extra 1 inch to the side. Since I have ½ inch before, it will now be 1½ sewing allowance altogether. So I'm adding extra 1 inch to it. So I will mark the 1 inch on the side panel and go like so. So I'll come back to this side and mark ½ inch sewing allowance like so. So after that, I cannot take my straight ruler to create the shape. This will be like a funnel shape. So remember, we are cutting the side panel and we are cutting 4 pieces. So I'll check my skirt length, because my skirt length is 40 inches. So because I'm adding a band of the waistband of 1 inch, and also I have sewing allowance and hemming allowance of 1 inch, so I don't need to add any allowance to it, because by the time I put the band, I will have replaced my sewing allowance and my hemming allowance. So I will leave the skirt length as 40 inches. So I'll measure 40 inches out like so. So the skirt length 40 inches is what I'm marking out right now. So I'll measure the 40 inches right now. And the extra measurement that is remaining, so I will not forget to shape the edges like that. I'll shape the edges of the skirt like so to avoid a sharp edge. So after shaping like so, the extra allowance that is remaining, I'm not going to cut it off. I will leave it because of the tail at the back. So I will leave that because of the tail at the back, because I will use it to cut the back side. So I can go ahead and cut out the panels like so. So for the front panel, I'm going to remove the extra 5 inches that I marked out, so that that front panel will only be 40 inches in length, because there is no tail at the front. So I will measure. I've cut it out and I have 40 inches already. So but the back panel will not be the same as this. It will have extra 5 inches. I'm not going to cut that one off on this. So I have two panels for this, the side panel for the back. So this is the back side that will be on the hip side, but it will be at the back. So the 5 inches will be there because of the tail. Right now I want to cut the front panel, the center front. So the center front panels are also 4 pieces. So this is the center back, and I have the center front with me. So I'll be using the measurement of the hemline also to fold my fabric. So the fabric is folded using the measurement of the hemline. I told you that I have 144 inches altogether for the front and back. So the back also will be 72 inches when I divided it by 2, and dividing it by 4 will give me 18 inches for each panel. So I have 18 inches here folded into 4, 18 inches folded into 4 places. So I will divide it by 2, then I'll have 9. So dividing it by 2 is to know where to place my panel for accuracy. So I will now bring the center back panel, because it's the biggest, it's the largest. That's why I'm bringing the center back. I don't want to use the front because the front is not as big as the center back. So I'll place the center back on the middle like so. Then I can do some manipulation here on the back side. So on the zipper allowance, since I have 1 inch for my hip manipulation the last time I did my tutorial on that leg skirt, I want to remove ½ inch there. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'll mark ½ inch on that zipper allowance, then I'll go and replace it on this other side. I'll replace that ½ inch here. So I've marked the ½ inch out. So the essence of doing this, I will show you in this picture. If you check this back panel, it won't be straight. It will have a curvy shape. So the essence of doing that is to have this curvy shape at the back, so that the style lines will not be straight, and it will be able to bring out the shape of the buttocks. So I'll use my free hand to mark that ½ inch out like so. So I've marked it out already. Then I'll cut it carefully So I will now replace it on the other side to create the new style line. So I'll mark where the hip line is, and add my sewing allowance right away, ½ inch on both sides, and I can now go ahead and cut. Before I cut, I'll create the funnel shape that starts from the skirt half length. So I'm going to do that. But before I do that, I'll consider the tail, because we know we are cutting the center back, which has the tail. So the tail is 5 inches length. If you like, you can make your own tail 7 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches will also be better if you have enough fabric. But since this fabric cannot be more than that, the whole fabric here is 45 inches, so I'm using 5 inches. So I'm adding 5 inches to 40 inches, making 45, and the whole length is 45. So I'll just place my ruler and create my funnel shape like so. So I've created the funnel shape. So the next thing to do is to bring out what I cut out and trace out my center front. You know, we use the center back to cut it, so I want to bring out my center front. So I will only bring 2 pieces out of the 4 pieces that I cut, because 2 pieces will only go for the back. So the 2 pieces that will go for the front is what I'm reshaping now. You rechalk it to the length of the center front, then you cut it out. So since the center front, as you can see, does not have a tail, I will measure 40 inches from up. I'll measure 40 inches. So I'll mark it out like so with my chalk. I'll mark it out like so. Then I'll blend to the side by 1 inch like so to avoid sharp edge. So for the front, this, remember, this is the center front, so I'll cut it off. I'm cutting the excess off. So I have my center front ready. So coming back to the center back, so the center back has the tail. That's why I'll start shaping from the center back side. As you can see, I'll start shaping from this side. So I'll take my chalk and chalk this way to the side of the center back, because the side will be the longest. Then I'll come this way. So I've brought my side panel. The side panels at the back. So I have the side panels with the center back panel for the back. So I'll chalk this way. I'll go like so and go and meet the 40 inches that I mark out for the center, for the side panel. So I can trim the excesses out. So with my free hand, the tail has been formed like so. So I have the hip side label out, and this is the back side and the hip side. So I can go ahead and use and cut out my lining. So you can go for any measurement you like, but as for me, I'm using 22 inches. So right now I want to show you how I did my piping. So a bias tape is used to pipe. This bias tape has width, a standard width of 1 inch. We open it up. Then when you open it up, you can decide to iron it and fold it into two. So after folding it into two, you will place it on the side you want the piping to be. You place it like so, the way I placed it. You place it like so. Then you will sew with 1/4 of an inch. When you place it like so, the rough edges will face where you want it to face. So you bring the panels you want to join together with it. Then you place the side you want to join together. So you turn to the wrong side when you want to match, so as to see the line of your stitches. So here you can see the line that you used to stitch your bias. So on that line, you are going to sew directly on that line, so that your bias there won't be an overlapping. So that's the way you make your piping neat, the way you see this. So I have my front panels and the back panels joined together. So my skirt is almost ready, remaining the waistband. So right now I want to show you how I will cut the waistband. So you can see the finishing. So I can go ahead and use the waist measurement that is here. I will measure what is here on the waist to cut the band. So on the center front is a little bit lower than the center back. So that's why I'm not going to cut the waist band straight. I'm going to do a little bit of shaping. So this is the fabric I want to use to cut the waistband. So I'll input my waist measurement here. The waist measurement divided by 2 is what I have here, with my overlapping allowance of 2 inches. So that's what I input here. Then at this point I will measure 1 inch, and I will use my hip curve ruler to create a bend from the center front to that 1 inch that I created. So from that I will input my width, the width that I want to use. I will input the width of the band, and the width is 1 inch. So with the sewing allowance I will have 2 inches altogether. So I will mark 2 inches like so. I'll go this manner and mark 2 inches. So this is the center front. So I have the center front here. So I can go right away and measure out my zipper allowance. I mean my overlapping allowance. So I have my waistband cut out. So I can go ahead and fix it to the skirt. So this is the result of my panel skirt. So feel free to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave your comment in the comment section. I'm going to reply to your comment as soon as I see it. Thanks. and God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.